It always helps if I show up. Welcome to Wednesday Night Coffee with Kollecting Kaos. My name is James, and tonight got something a little different. Of course, I still have pressing, and I still have things that I didn't know I did. You know, my lost and found stuff. Haven't been anywhere to buy anything though. And you might hear a little thunder in the background. We're starting to get a few storms. So if I disappear all of a sudden without warning, you know what happened. It's one of those things that happens occasionally. Sometimes it just goes away, you know. Sometimes we lose internet. It happened to me last week. But yeah, I've got a few things that are kind of interesting. I looked up a couple of them real quick to see what the value was because I was considering maybe selling them. And one of them, surprised me a little bit because it's not worth much. And another one surprised me a little bit because it's worth a whole lot more than I expected. So, yeah, I definitely got some thunder going on. Hopefully that won't affect this and we'll be able to go through. So let's just go ahead and kick this off with what I've pressed this past week. And there's a bunch of them. Most of these are for my collection. There's a couple of them that I plan to sell eventually or offer up for sale, but not all of them. And I might have some in here that I think are going in my collection, but the copy I have is already in better condition, so we'll have to see about that. So start off with Superman's Girlfriend, Lois Lane, number 49. And like I said, most of these are going to end up in my collection, most likely. Then we have Superman's Girlfriend, number 51. And I know I have another copy of that because I'm currently working on it. The copy that I'm working on, opened it up, got ready to press it, and went, whoa. Either mold or mildew. Not sure which. Disassembled the comic, wearing gloves and a mask. And I started working on it and cleaning it and washing down every single page, disinfecting it for the most part. It's turning out pretty nice, except the cover. Screwed up on the cover, but that's the way it goes sometimes. Next up, New Talent Showcase number 4. This one will be offered up for sale. It's not worth a whole lot. I only did it because it had some dings on the edge that I wanted to see if I could get out, and it did. It came out pretty good. You can still see the dings, but they're not as bad as what they used to be. Then we have My Greatest Adventure, number 23. Nice early Silver Age comic. Definitely going to go in my collection. Michael, how you doing? Then we have Superman's Girlfriend, 52. Pretty sure that one's going in my collection. Some of these Michael will recognize. Some of them he won't. Grimm's Ghost Stories. Now, I'm not sure which issue this is, but judging, I believe it's from January of 1973, and that's Grimm's Ghost Stories. Might be 1971, and it might be March 1971. I'm not going to open it up and find out right now. I need to start writing that on the back so I know what they've got. Probably going to keep that one. All the Tarzan I'm about to show you are part of my collection. This is from April 1965. Actually, I know what number that is. Wait a minute. That's number 7, Grimm's Ghost Stories number 7. I have a list here. I don't know why I'm not looking at it. This is Tarzan number 149. Here we have Tarzan number 178. This one turned out really nice. Very happy with the way that turned out. Still got some stress creases on the side, but it's still good. Patrick, glad to see you. Happy you could stop by. Archie, number 290, in a newsstand. Just not a big surprise because it's from the 80s. Now I'm going to show you 4 comics that I offered up for sale at one point and then decided not to sell them after all. And then I'll show you a big key issue that most people don't recognize as a key, and I don't understand why. We'll start out with Terminator, The Burning Earth, number 5. And the cover is done by this guy, Alexander. He has his signature right there. And then number 4, and there again, the signature's Alexander. Number 3, again, signature Alexander. And number 2, signature is Alexander. Now, I offered these up for sale at one point. Nobody bought them, and I offered them 3 or 4 times. Nobody bought them, and I decided I'm going to get number 1 and keep them. Little did I know that this cover is also done by Alexander. That's Alexander Ross, who now signs his paintings as Alex Ross. This is Alex Ross' first professional comic book work. He did the covers. He did the interior of the entire set. That's why I decided to keep it. So there you go. Keeping those. There's a Tarzan number 180. This one also turned out really nice. This one was a gift from Horizon Picks, Roy over at Horizon Picks, because I have a copy, but it was in really bad shape, so he sent me this one as a gift, kind of like a Christmas present. But it did have some stress creases, so I removed the stress creases, and it turned out really nice. Red Ryder. This is a giveaway that they included this with the Red Ryder rifle, BB gun. Keeping that, I like Red Ryder. Ripoff Press Inc. presents Underground Classics number 10. This one I will be putting up for sale, probably on Friday. It goes for, I'll probably ask about $10 for it. I think it's very much worth it. So, yeah. That one I'm not keeping in my collection. Then I have, I repressed What If number 27 because I wasn't happy with the way it came out. Now it looks just wonderful. I'm really happy with how it looks now. And I'll be sending those off to, I'll be sending them off to the owner very quickly. Unknown Comics guy who owns the comic. I'll be sending it back to him pretty quick. Just here browsing. Glad you could stop in. Yes, his first work. And like I was saying in my intro, there is thunder. I've got some thunder, possibly lightning, storm. I may end up just going, boop, I'm gone if my internet goes down or my lights go out. If it's just the lights go out and come back, I'll try to get back on as quickly as possible. Next up, we've got Tarzan of the Apes. This is number 181, and of course, I'm keeping that. Hanna-Barbera, High Adventure Heroes. This one turns out decent. Still has a lot of stress marks here, but it did turn out nice and flat. This is number 1. I'm keeping it, obviously. Like I said, there was only like 2 that I'm not keeping this time. Then this is number 182 of Tarzan. I am working on trying to get the full Tarzan run from Dell number 1, which I do have a copy of. I have like the first 4 or 5, and then it starts skipping around. But from Dell number 1 through all of the Dells, through all of the Gold Keys, and all of the DC Tarzans. So I don't care about Marvel. I think I have all of those anyway, but I don't know. So that's it. That's what I pressed to this week. And of course, I have stuff in the press right now. Next up, we're going to just go straight into my Lost and Found. And I have a whole box of Lost and Found stuff. The whole box was basically lost, and I found it. But before I show that, this is a 1976 edition, book club edition, of Star Wars from the Adventures of Luke Skywalker by George Lucas. Unfortunately, this is a book club edition, and it doesn't go for that much. It goes for like $5. So I'll probably offer it for that. It's in okay condition, it's in decent shape, except for where the previous owner decided to use some kind of water marker or something. I could probably take that off, but why bother? Next up, that one surprised me because it's not worth much. 1976 Star Wars. You'd think it'd be worth something. Not really. The interesting part is the movie came out, I think, in 77 or 78. I don't remember. Then there's Han Solo's Revenge, also book club edition. This one goes for about $30. That kind of surprised me. I figured, okay, that's worth $5. This is probably worth $5 too. No, this one's worth about $30. And this one is in pretty nice shape also. It has a dent up here. But that happens. And then I have Star Trek Probe. And this goes for about $5. Originally came out at about $20. Yeah, 1977 is when the movie came out, and that book is from 1976. Think about that for a minute. This came out let me see what the copyright date on this is. $1992. First Pocketbooks hardcover printing, April 1992. This is a first print, second impression. So it's a first print, but it's a second impression. So what that means is they sold out and they went back and printed more that are identical to the original. So, with the exception of the numbering. So that was kind of neat. This is something, not only did I not know where it was, I forgot that I even had it. It's an old Avalon Hill bookcase game of Bull Run. And of course, that's a pretty famous Civil War battle. Fairly sure it's complete. I haven't touched this in years. Yeah, it's got all the pieces still. So I'll probably offer that up on eBay. I'll have to discount it a little bit because the box is in pretty sorry shape, but those sell pretty good for me on eBay, so might do well. This is science fiction adventure game. Alternity. It was put out by Wizards of the Coast after they bought TSR. Yeah, I'll probably offer that up on eBay also. all of this stuff sells pretty good for me on eBay. That's never been opened. It's still in the original packaging. This surprised me. It's not in the best shape in the world, but it is complete. The original Dark Sun campaign setting. As I remember, I got this, read through it, and went, no, I don't like it, and never used it. But that's part of my D&D collection, so that's not going to go anywhere. Okay. Good to know, Michael. Let's make sure everybody gets to see that. Marvel Star Wars comic, a paperback, and the hardcover you showed were based on the final script, not based on the final edit of the movie. So that's kind of neat. Another part of my D&D section is the original World of Greyhawk campaign setting. This is big money here, but I don't think I'm going to be selling it. It is complete, both books, the map, and even the RPGA application. So I'll be keeping this in my collection as well. I have a pretty big D&D collection. I should sell it off, but didn't know I had this one. I thought I did, but I didn't remember. This I actually had in my store. It didn't sell, and now I have it. And I'll probably keep it because it's DC. It's the DC Universe role-playing game. Never been opened, still sealed. Because I never played this one. This one I played a couple of times. I wasn't too crazy about it. Came out in 1988 originally. It's Cyberpunk. I'm probably going to offer this one up for sale. To the best of my knowledge, it is complete. And this is the original here. The original DC Heroes role-playing game. I have this in a bag. It's a treasury-size bag or a Life magazine-size bag. But yeah, I'll be keeping this one for sure. It is complete. It has all the pieces. So yeah, that's my lost and found. Some neat stuff. I got to offer something. eBay sales have just gone right down to the end of the toilet, so I have to get some things that not everybody is listing. I don't know what's going on with that. People look at stuff, and I send them offers and never hear back from them. RPGAs, PTs. I have Star Frontiers. Don't think I have Villains and Vigilantes. I do have a copy of the original Gamma World, but not in the box. So, yeah. Yeah, I guess people are waiting for their taxes to come in because they're broke. Nice. Dark Shadows usually sells. Kenneth, glad to see you. Could stop in. What do I have next? Well, let's see. Preview something I'm going to offer up for sale on Friday on Horizon Picks channel. This is an autographed copy of Six Bullets. and the autograph on it. I will be offering that. And maybe a couple other things. I have some dollar comics I'm going to offer up tonight. But before I go there, before I do that, I've been threatening to clean this for a while. But it got too cold. And that other room is still, even though it's been in the 60s here, the other room still gets kind of chilly. So I decided to do it live. So let's go to my other camera. And we're going to start cleaning. First off, the very first thing I'm going to do to it is get out my brush, and I'm going to go through and brush down each page. And I'm doing this for a couple of reasons. Number one, it lets me know the page condition. And it did have a pretty nasty fold there. And it makes sure there is no dirt on the inside. You got it, Patrick. Do it live. And when I clean a comic, this is one of the things that I sometimes forget to do. And invariably, when I forget to do it, there's some grit or grime inside the comic. So I have a little checklist that I go by now for cleaning. These are creamed off or cream pages. I'm not even going to say cream to off-white. They are definitely a cream color. They haven't gotten to the tan stage. Wow. Any records for $1.97 or 11 tapes for $1.97? And it shows a bunch of 8-track tapes. I remember 8-track tapes. Nice Black Orchid story. Does it say who did the art in that? Tony DeZuniga did the art. An advertisement for some of the treasure editions. Pretty sure I have this one. Don't know if I have that one or not. I'd like to get all of the DC treasuries eventually. Magic cards, but not Magic the Gathering. As in magic card tricks. Let's see. I have this one, obviously. I definitely have that one and that one. I think I have this one. I'm pretty sure I have that one. I'm not sure if I have that one. This one I think I've got. And this one I think I have, but I'm not sure. Yeah, I collect DC comics. There's no question about it. Now, there is a stain up here that I won't be able to take care of, and that goes all the way through the comic, going up here too, and I just don't think that's going to come out. Even if I washed it, I don't think I could get it to come out. That's the first thing I'm going to do is clean it like that. Next, we're going to take and just take one of these cotton rounds, and all I'm going to do is go over it. Take a piece of paper. This is just a regular sheet of paper. And very lightly go over it. See if I get any dirt off. And even if you have a brand new comic that you just got from a comic shop, do this before you put it in the bag and board. Chances are you're not going to get any dirt, but you never know. Sometimes you do. Well, that back really needs a cleaning. I did wash my hands before I went live. So next up, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this old backing board that I have. It's a really old backing board. I'm just going to stick it in here. Just like that. And that gives me a little bit of support. And then I'm going to take my eraser, clean it off a little bit on my mouse pad. And we're just going to start right up here in the corner where it says still only 20 cents. And I'm going to start cleaning the white. We'll turn another light on, get some more light on the subject. That allows me to see it a little better. And that's all I'm going to do is just go over it real easy. Now, I'm not going to clean the whole thing tonight because I don't feel like being on here for like 4 or 5 hours. I'll probably just do the front cover. Maybe next week I'll do the back cover. And we'll come down here to the comics code, go over that real light. And then I'll start doing the background for the red, or the lettering. I am not, let me use this piece of cardboard. Yeah, that's better. I'm not going over it with any pressure at all, other than what the eraser gives it. And I'll probably end up having to do this a bunch of times. I use the same cotton round that I went over it with originally to clean off any eraser fines and dirt that comes off. And I am glancing up occasionally, so if you make a comment, I will see it, and I will answer your comments if you make any. I will be doing I do have a stack of comics, by the way, that I will be offering up for sale at $1 a piece a little bit later. But I wanted to get some of this done since I've been promising. I need a thinner eraser to get these. So I just have to be really super careful with it and not give any pressure. Come back and do the phantom part of the Phantom Stranger. Again, I'm only worried about doing the white. I'm getting some dirt off. This can take a while to do, but I think it's important to show people you don't have to be an expert at cleaning comics. You just have to be willing to take a risk. And of course, that risk is, if you're worried about ruining the comic, you shouldn't be trying to clean it. I don't worry about it. I just want it to look better. And I think it is starting to look a little better. Take it down here now. Along the spine where the this has what is called a progressive bindery defect. What that means is that it's not, the line that separates the front cover to the back cover isn't perfectly aligned with the spine of the comic. So that's called a progressive bindery defect because it's wider here than it is up here. So that's what that means. So from now on, if I ever talk about a comic having a progressive bindery defect, you'll know what I'm talking about. Maybe. Maybe not. It's just nice and easy. It's not going to get all the dirt off, but it'll get a decent chunk of it off. Now, sometimes I use this, which is Immaculate. I'm not going to be using this, partially because what's left in there is all I have. And that's really mostly for getting fingerprints off of comics. It really doesn't take off that much dirt. I mean, it will take off dirt, don't get me wrong, but for the most part, it's used for fingerprints. I have more, but I haven't seen it since the flood, so I don't know where it is. It'll be in a future Lost and Found, I'm sure. We'll go over these white parts again. Just to clean it up a little more. Again, it's taking off some dirt, just not a lot. That's okay. Don't have to take off all of the dirt. Just enough to make it look better. I probably won't show my actual pressing of this. What I'll do is I'll put it together. I will. I'll bring all the material, everything I need to make the to make like the sandwich that I make with this, and show that part. But then when I go to press it, I'm not going to show that because I've shown it before. I've shown what I do. I've shown how I do it before. Of course, I've shown this before too, but still. You guys had to pick the hard one, didn't you? And this was selected by the chat as the comic they wanted to see me clean from start to finish. But cleaning is not necessarily pressing. So now I'm going to do something you're not going to expect. This has something that won't come off. So this is an X-Acto blade. This is something you do not want to do if you're not experienced. And it's something that was stuck on there that I couldn't get off. And now it's off. That takes a very delicate touch. Not something for the faint-hearted. Do this a little more. Normally when I do this, I'm using my magnifying lens. But if I do that right now, you won't be able to see what I'm doing because the lens would be in the way of the camera. So. That's pretty much the dry cleaning that I can do on the front cover. But I'm going to do more. If I can find it. There it is. It's a soot sponge. You do not have to buy an Absorbing soot sponge. There are multiple companies that sell these. You don't have to get one that's made by Absorbing. This is not one made by Absorbing. It works just fine. As you can see, it's kind of dirty because I've used it a number of times. I'm going to use this edge right here. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to go very lightly over it. I do put a little pressure on it. Not too much. But as you can see, that'll take off some surface dirt. Sometimes I do this before I do any erasing. Sometimes I do it after. this is a good way to clean up some of the color portions of the comic. These were originally made to clean wallpaper after a fire. But they work really good for cleaning comics. Now, if these get really dirty, you can throw them away. You can wash them. When I wash them, I use Dawn dish soap, clean it out real good, and then rinse it real good, let it air dry. I do not use it until it is completely dry. After I wash this one, I'll probably wait 3 or 4 weeks before I actually try using it again. How you doing, Jason? Glad you could stop in. Like I said, it cleans it pretty good. But I'm not done. One more thing I'm going to do with this cover, and then I'm going to say it's good enough. What is this? I have something on the cover there. I need to buy some more of this. This is actually absorbing putty. And I'm starting to run low. It has to be kneaded really well before you can do anything with it. And different people use this in different ways. Some people, when they use it, they use it like an eraser and they go over it like that. And other people do it the way I'm going to do it, which is once it gets warmed up and nice and soft, you want to get it to about the consistency of Play-Doh. And once it's like that, I roll it, and then I roll it on the comic. Just like that. Oops. And try not to hit the camera. Again, this is another method of taking dirt off. That I use. I'm really concerned with that. There's something on there that's not coming off. I might end up having to wash this. Not wash it, but, use a little bit of soap and water on it. And I'll show you how to do that too tonight. So like I said, we're going to do the front cover, and maybe next week I'll do the back cover. I thought that was a scratch originally, but now I'm starting to think it isn't. It's something stuck on the book. So here we go. Definitely getting some dirt off. Lots of different methods here. Lots of different ways that I show you to clean. You don't have to use all of these. I don't have to use all of these. Just these are different methods to do. There is one thing that I always do when I'm done. And I'm not going to say I'm done because I am going to show you that one other method. When I get to this point, and let's say this, I'm finished with this and the comic is clean. I take a Chem wipe. Now you can use a tissue paper, but if you use tissue paper, you don't want any kind of scent on it. And all we're going to do is buff the comic. And you can apply pressure here. Just be careful when you get to the edges. And look, dirt came off. But that's another method I use. I do that. And I also do that after I do the next step. Now this next step, I probably don't need to do this, but I want to do it just to show you. And I'm going to do it with something that you're not going to expect. This is just dishwashing soap. This is I think this might be a 3-ounce bottle, but I use like 1 or 2 drops of dishwashing soap. I use Dawn because that's what I use. And what we'll do, I put a very small spot. It's like a 1/2 inch, and it goes all the way through. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it and rub it along the comic. You have to be real careful when you do this. Don't want to apply any pressure. Not really. You're just dragging it along. Again, we're taking off surface dirt. And remember how clean the comic was, right? It was pretty clean. It's showing a little red. Some of the red does come off. That happens, but not that much, and it's not that bad. So that has to dry. And once it's fully dry, then we can go to the next step. I'm not going to wait for it to fully dry. I'm going to tell you that right now. We're just going to go ahead and do it. And as you know, I still have that board here to protect the inside pages. But I'm just going to go ahead and go to the next step, which is, again, cotton round. And we're going to take distilled water. That's all it is, just water. Same thing. Just a little tiny bit is all it takes. And then we will do exactly the same thing that I just did, but this time I'm not so much cleaning it as taking off the soap that I just put on the comic. So we're just going to go around the same way. And as you can see, it's a little damp because it's grabbing the cover. That's why you have to you'll really see the effect of this when I do the back cover. Now, while it's still damp, because I don't want any streaks on it, I take my Chem wipe or my tissue paper, whatever, and I start going over it, and I'm taking up any excess water. And again, it's also buffing out the comic. but this will prevent streaks. It also helps it to dry quicker. No, actually, if you do the way I show you, it doesn't. And it's only the cover. It's not going onto the inside at all. And of course, I will end up pressing it. But once it dries, you put it in a bag and board, and you don't have to worry about it. But look how shiny that is. Now we'll look at the back side. It's got some shine, but it's not like the front. I'm going to let this air dry. We're going to go and we're going to show you, I'm going to show you some comics, $1 a piece. Matter of fact, everything I show for sale tonight, with the exception of one thing, is going to be $1 a piece, and I might not show that item. Yeah, nice and glossy. When it's pressed, it gets even better. But I'll show you this at the end of the show to show you that it's still flat. It's not gotten bad like that. Let me take this whole thing. This is a 54-point backing board for a Treasury size comic, by the way, or Life magazine. Set that over there, and we'll switch back to my regular camera. Yeah. That was fun. I like cleaning comics. I enjoy it. Been doing it for a long time. I remember I was at a Comic Con. It was like a 2 or 3 day show, and a guy who was looking at a comic I had, he had a spine roll. It was a pretty bad spine roll, actually. And this was on Saturday. And he went, "Man, I wish this spine, it didn't have this bad spine roll." Yeah, cold press always works. But he was complaining because of the spine roll. And I went, well, I'll see what I can do. Not thinking about the fact that, I mean, back in the early 70s, the time that I'm talking about, people didn't care as long as they had a copy. But if it was a really bad spine roll, well, that bothered them because they would rather get a nicer copy. But they didn't worry about perfect copies. Some people liked them in the highest grade they could get, or the best condition they could get. But as long as they had a copy, they were perfectly happy. So I took it home, and I got out the iron, got out a couple of towels, and I'm on the kitchen table with the towels laid out and a comic book under it, and I'm flattening out the comic with the iron. My mom came in. "What are you doing?" "Ironing a comic." "Why?" "Well, the spine is rolled over, and I have somebody that's interested in it, but they didn't like it because of the spine roll. So I'm going to try to fix it." She looked at me for a minute and she went, "You're not using my good towels." Okay. And she got out a couple of pieces of parchment paper, handed them to me, and she said, "Use this." I said, "What do I do with this?" She said, "Put that over between the comic and the iron." And I did, and it worked, and it was great. And I folded the cover back over, I ironed it flat, put it in a Robert Bell bag. That's how old I am. I remember Robert Bell bags. Took it with me the next day. And instead of asking $2 for it, I was asking $5 for it. The guy bought it. That was the first. It was a Mickey Mouse comic, and I don't remember which one, but I had a couple, 2 or 3 of them. But that was the first comic that I ever worked on, and it was around 1973, I think. So, yeah, I've been doing this for a long time. And that was back before anybody, if you told somebody you pressed a comic, they'd look at you like you'd lost your mind. You clean a comic? No, nobody cleans comics. And nobody did back then. I think the first time I actually tried to clean a comic was in the late 80s or early 90s. It turned out okay. Of course, I didn't have any of the techniques that I use now. Yes, OG Chaos. When I still went by my normal name. But I took a damp, I took just a washcloth and I got it damp and I wrung as much water as I could get out of it and it went over the cover real lightly just to take off some of the dirt. Oh man, that washcloth was filthy when I was finished, but the comic turned out great. Of course it kind of warped up a little bit, the ends came up a little bit. So I took a couple of backing boards. Well, they weren't backing boards. I didn't have backing boards back then. I took some cardstock, like you get out for the back of a notepad. Took a couple of those because I used to keep them for building projects for miniatures, and put it between those and stuck an encyclopedia on it, and it worked fine. It's no problem at all. It worked out fine. But yeah, that was the first comic I cleaned, and the first. I hate spine rolls. Oh, I hate spine rolls so bad. And I've got 2 or 3 different methods now that I use to take out a spine roll. If it isn't too bad, I have, see if I can find it. Used to be here. I've got some backboards that I cut down. Oh, here it is. Some old backing boards that I just cut down. And what I do is I take the edge of the comic. I don't even worry about the spine roll. I just take both edges of the comic. I line them up with this. Then I clamp them with these little binder clips. I'll use 3 or 4 along here and then a couple on each side to hold it in place. And then I'll steam it and iron it flat and then put it in a cold press for a couple of days. And once I've done that, then I'll go ahead and do a regular press on it. And it works pretty good. Don't always get the spine roll completely out, but it gets most of it out. Paperback books are easy. As a matter of fact, paperback books are the easiest thing in the world to clean. You can use soap and water on them, no big deal. You do it the same way I did a comic book. Then when you're done, get some unscented spray wax, like Indust or something, but try to find the kind that's not lemon scented or doesn't have a scent. You spray that on a cloth and then you wipe the cover down. Just brings out a beautiful shine on a paperback. Little tricks. Now this, I learned that from a book collector and seller, someone that bought and sold old paperbacks. And he was buying and selling paperbacks from the 30s or 40s, 50s, and 60s. So yeah, I figured that's not a bad thing. Let me show you some of these comics that I have. These are all $1 a piece, no matter what it is. I don't care. I just grabbed some. And we're going to start off with, this is James Bond 007, BARGR, Barger. This is issue number 5. And these are all $1 a piece. Here's a Dark Shadows number 8. This is Dark Shadow. This is from the Dynamite Entertainment Classic series. Duel Master number 2. It's a free comic book day, Little Lulu. I should keep this one. I actually have some Little Lulu comics somewhere, but these are reprints, and I don't want it. I've got, I think I might have the original of this. So, yeah. Dawn of the Dread Force, number 0. Like I said, these are all $1 a piece. Bendis and Bagley's Brilliant. This is number 3. Free Comic Book Day, Star Wars The High Republic Adventures. Free Comic Book Girl, or a Mean Girls Senior Year. Free Comic Book Day, Sonic the Hedgehog. This actually, it has a little bit of value, but since it has its stamp on there, I figured, yeah. A Bizarro number 2. Action Comics, a new 52, number 2. Here's a number 4. Number 5. And number 7. Action Comics 842, and this one could use a clean, but it's $1. I'm not going to clean it. Number 892. Number 1015 with Naomi. Number 1017, this acetate cover. Number 1023, that's the variant cover. It's a Perillo variant. Number 1024, also a Perillo variant. Web Spinners, Tales of Spider-Man, number 3. How you doing, Swamp Picker? And like I said, these are all $1 a piece. Number 4. Tranquility, number 5. Wildstorm, after it became a DC imprint. Number 6. There's a West Coast Avengers number 11. I have quite a few of them. I have most of them in the 1000s. Wildcats number 24. And number 40. Wild Core number 3. Number 7. And a couple more copies of number 24. Next up, Strange Tales number 16. Number 17. Street Wolf number 3 from Blackthorn Publishing. Strike Force Moruturu number 18. And number 17. Number 24. From 1992, Suicide Squad, number 61. Suicide Squad Rebirth, number 5. Suicide Squad Infinite Frontier, number 1. I had a couple of those. Superboy and the Legion of Superheroes, number 211, Mike Grell cover. Number 251, it's a Staten cover there. Dick Giordano inking it. The Steel Claw, number 2. Claw. And these prices are good generally until, Sunday or so. Punisher War Journal, number 42, JR cover. And number 43, also JR. This is a more recent Punisher War Journal, number 16. This is part of Secretive Invasion. And it is a direct edition, of course. Punisher Warzone, number 2. Said, I don't know what all is in here. Here's a Purgatory. Number 4. I never know what's going to show up. I just grab stuff and say, okay, I'll do that. Quantum Woody, number 5. And number 15. There's a Quasar, number 12. And number 26, and of course it has Thanos in the background. Dennis Cohen cover. The Question, number 23. I like Dennis Cohen's work a lot. And here's number 24. Also Cohen. Here's number 32. Seems like those are the only 3 issues I ever find when I'm looking for The Question. I've been trying to get a collection of that for years, and I only find like 3 or 4 issues. Robin Hood, number 3. If you ever get a chance to read this whole series, it's really good. Rogue, number 3. Nice and shiny. I'd offer these for sale on Friday, too. ROM, number 5. Yeah, I think I'm going to offer these for sale again on Friday. And number 37. Yeah. Just a bunch of comics that I grabbed. But I figured I would offer. I have some others too, but I've decided not to show those. Well, offer those up for sale on Friday is a lot. But I have more stuff I'm going to offer. I doubt anybody's going to want these, but I'm going to show them anyway. $1 a piece for any of these that you happen to want. These are DVDs. Yes, I Love You. It is in there. And make sure it's the right one. It is. A Walk to Remember. Yeah. Check to make sure it's there. Yes, it is. Something New. These are a bunch of I bought a batch of DVDs because there were 3 or 4 I wanted, and I figured I'd buy them all. And I watched a couple of these, but not that many. It's Uptown Girls. Yeah, that one's not bad. I think I watched them. Just Married. Ryan Reynolds, Just Friends. It's an early Ryan Reynolds. Someone Like You. Like I said, $1 a piece if anybody wants any of these. That's What I Am. I've been meaning to watch this one. Stranger in the Woods, the movie. Collector's edition of Forgetting Sarah Marshall. It's got the unrated version, bonus disc, and then digital copy disc. So what else we got? Put these away. Got Amanda Bynes, What a Girl Wants. Does it even open? Ah, there we go. When Zachary Beaver Came to Town. Alpha Dog. Why Did I Get Married? I don't know. Turn that around. Oh, that's just an advertisement for other videos. Blue Collar Comedy Toys for Rides Again with Jeff Foxworthy, Larry the Cable Guy, Bill Engvall, and Ron White. The Robert Pattinson movie, Love and Distrust. Yeah, that rain's coming down pretty good now. American Beauty with Kevin Spacey and Annette Bening. And this one I have definitely watched. And I actually sold this. I had to watch this one because I sold it. And the guy pushed so hard on here to get it out without removing the wrapper that he actually broke the plastic. And then he took out the paperwork that was inside of it and said, it doesn't play. It doesn't work. I watched it. It came out great. I sent him 50% of his value of his money back. I didn't send him the full value because, you know, it's no longer sealed. It's no longer unwatched. So I only sent him 50% of it back. I got more. You didn't think, well, you're going to get away that easy, did you? I got Space Chimps for $1. You got The Adventures of Milo and Otis. I like this movie a lot. It's funny. I got Garfield, A Tale of Two Kitties. Very funny. Very good movie. I watched this one. I watched this next one too. Casper, A Spirited Beginning. Pretty good. I actually enjoyed this movie a lot until it got to the end. Their idea of Galactus just made me mad. Donnie Darko. This one I haven't watched. Everybody keeps telling me I need to, but I haven't watched it. The Borrowers, I've never watched this. It's still sealed in its original packaging. Includes 7 bonus movies. Little Lord Fauntleroy, Jack and the Beanstalk, Where the Red Fern Grows, Roughing It, Gulliver's Travels, George and David Copperfield. And I think I'm going to open it up and watch it because I'm currently reading Little Lord Fauntleroy, and I would like to watch that. So I think I'm going to open that up later on and watch it. We have The Pirate Kids. This was actually pretty good. I liked this one. Transformers, Revenge of the Fallen. Ramona and Beezus. I actually watched this one too because I had it on eBay for a while, and I like to watch the if it's open, I like to try to watch it so that I can know what I'm getting into. Then we've got some Christmas movies here. I'm going to skip over all of those. Eight Below. And I saved the best for last. Winner, Best Family Film of the Year. It's Charlotte's Web. And that's the movies I have that are available if anybody wants one. If you want one, but you didn't want to claim it in chat because you don't want people to know you got it, you can always hit me up on Instagram or send me an email or whatever. My email address is in the description down below. Let's take a look at that comic. Did we get any rippling? No, we didn't. Still nice and shiny. It is bent slightly over. And we'll clean the backside next week. So we'll work on that next week and then be okay. So take that backing board out of it because I might need that for something else. I had the backing board for this one. Put it on a backing board and slide it into its bag and board. So next week, I'll clean the back of it, and you can watch that if you want. And then the week after that, I'll work on the little bit of spine stress and some of the creases that it has in it. See if we can't get some of those relieved. Well, that looks a whole lot better, though. And I think that's going to be it for me tonight because I just got a warning at the bottom of my computer saying heavy rain and thunderstorms, and I don't want to get caught with the power going beep. So I think that's going to be it for tonight. Have yourself a great week. I'll see you on Friday. I'll be on Horizon Picks channel with the rest of the crew. He's doing that each week, a different person, and then at the end of the month, everybody comes on. I'm not a fan of it, but it's his channel. He's going to do it the way he wants. And if I want to be on it, then I have to do it that way. So, yeah, we'll see you next week. Everybody, have yourself a great week. If you want to help support the channel, you can always go down in the description below and buy me a cup of coffee, because I don't know what I did with my coffee cup tonight, and I have a full cup somewhere, and I don't know where. It happens. I lost my coffee cup. I think it's in the room with the press, but I'm not going to swear to that. And I didn't want to get up and go get it in the middle of the show. Yeah, I'll see you Friday with on Horizon Picks channel. No, coffee does not go in the microwave. Never put. I just don't. No, microwave coffee. Shame. Don't do that. That's bad for. That's bad for your coffee and bad for your microwave. I will reheat coffee in my percolator. I will take the guts out of it and plug it in so it gets warm again. It's hot again, but I don't put it. I put coffee in the microwave a couple of times and it always tastes nasty. Like I said, I'll reheat coffee using the percolator or even on the stove. Just pour it in a pan and reheat it that way. But I will not put coffee in a microwave ever again. About the only thing I use my microwave for now is making eggs for egg sandwiches. Just don't use it for much anymore. Done both of those. I don't mind coffee when it gets cold. I'll keep drinking it. But those first couple of sips should be a warm, drinking temperature, which is just below scalding, hot enough that you have to blow on it a little bit. And then after that, the cup is good and you can drink it until it's cold. And once it's cold, you just finish it off and go get another cup. So I kind of agree with you there. Warm ice cream I can do without, but I've eaten warm ice cream occasionally. It happens. Doesn't taste as good though. And if the ice cream melts, you don't refreeze it. That's just, that tastes bad. So anyway, that's it for tonight. Hope you all have a great week, and we'll see you next Wednesday right here, 8:00 Central. Might go buy some stuff. I don't know. I have somebody that has some stuff for me. He has some older Silver Age comics that I'm looking forward to getting a hold of. and some early Bronze Age comics that I'm looking forward to getting hold of, and a whole bunch of other stuff. I usually buy a long box from him at a time, so hopefully he'll be able to do that. And we'll see you Friday night on Horizon Picks channel. I had that somewhere. I'll stick a link to it down in the description below after this is over. In the meantime, everybody, have yourself a great day. Have yourself a great night. We'll see you Friday and then next week. Bye.